Welcome to the 7th race weekend of the 2018 FIA World Touring Car Cup. After 10 weeks away, the WTCR began its Asian campaign in China, returning to Ningbo. For the second year running, one of the world's busiest port cities welcomes WTCR. Ningbo seeing the return of former Sichuan driver Qinghua Ma in the paddock, driving a Honda for Boots & Gignon, and two-time DTM champion Timo Scheider also joining the fold in a Honda for Munich Motorsport. Could they join our 11 different winners this season? Only one way to find out.
WTCR Oscaro is back in Ningbo, China. 4 rounds remain, and enough points on the table for any driver to win the title. Who will it be?
4 events left, plus 3-point advantage. 12 races left, plus 8 qualifying left, 20. In alphabet, 7 is G, 20 is T. Gabriele Tarquini, winner, easy.
We do the brakes, come back again. Now let's do this. Come on, you again. You come here to China and ask me who's going to win the title. It's so close. How the hell would I know?
Can you see if I'm gonna win the title?
I see a tall, blonde, handsome man.
Yeah, that's me.
His name sounds like a piece of IKEA furniture.
No. Björk!
If this one goes in, I'm gonna win the title. Let's try. No, just kidding. I was thinking about this one. This one's gonna go in.
Gabriele, you and your Italian maths, out the way. Come on, I'll show you real maths. 12 races left, plus my number, 12, minus 6 races I didn't score in the last 6 events, equals 18. That is R in the alphabet. 8 qualifiers left to show I'm the fastest. That equals H in the alphabet. Rob Huff. Winner, done.
In the WTCR this season, nothing is possible. Everything is impossible.
No, Pepe, that's the contrary. No, stay here, stay here. Now stop, don't walk, and action.
In the WTCR this season, everything is
Possible.
possible. In the WTCR this season, everything is f***ing hell!
After free practice on Friday, Saturday began with the qualifying session for race 1. And if Ivan Miller's weekend had not got off to the best of starts, power steering cost him any running time in FP1, and it eventually caught up with him in qualifying. The 4-time champion only 13th. Points leader Gabriele Tarquini 3 ahead of Muller coming to China had no such problems. The veteran Italian only just off the pole pace, 4th on the grid. He will undoubtedly be very quick. Tarquini outdone by 45 thousandths of a second by teammate Norbert Mikelitz, 3rd in the championship coming here. Big surprise of the session, Fredrik Vervisch put his Audi in the middle of the Hyundai bun fight. He was a fantastic 2nd fastest, but for the 5th time this season, Ted Björk bagged pole by 53 thousandths. The top 18 covered by 9/10.
This track is really technical, but I just feel in the window. I just feel really good in the window, but it's still, you have to get the car there as well. So I think we will see really interesting races. But I'm happy that I'm in the window because I think I can just pull away, depending on what's happening in the start. But otherwise, it will be an interesting race and ready to fight for it.
As the cars head to the grid, a few adjustments. Gabriele Tarquini with a 5-place grid penalty for instigating the multi-car pile-up last time out in Slovakia. He goes down to 9th. Esteban Guerrieri starts 4th, and it's drama right from the word go. Hopefully a little bit less damaging than the big pile-up in Slovakia ring. Ted Björk on pole position. Only 2 race wins so far this season. He knows he needs to start converting poles into wins if he's to claim the driver's title. And he makes the best of the starts to take the lead from Fredrik Vervisch, Esteban Guerrieri and Norbert Mikelitz, who immediately start rubbing wheels as Guerrieri goes through. Then a lunge down the inside of Fredrik Vervisch into the hairpin. Guerrieri is up to second. With Vervisch unsettled, through goes Mikulits, but he drifts out wide on the exit, and the Audis go steamrolling by him. Norby is trailing smoke. He's not long for the race, as Gabriele Tarquini, his teammate, discovers when he closes up from behind. Having started 9th, he goes by his teammate, and he is through into 5th. Battle between the two Golfs. This time, there are no close barriers as there were in Villarreal, but Mehdi Banani catches Rob Huff unawares, and he goes through. Ivan Muller makes a mistake, finally getting by Denis Dupont. Muller coming from 13th on the grid and battling his way into the top 8. Trouble for Jean-Carl Vernet, suspension failure, and he is out of the race. Norbert Mikulits also in the pits. Lap 7 of the race, Ted Björk starting to ease away from Esteban Guerrieri. Fredrik Vervisch in 3rd place, but he's under pressure as Gabriele Tarquini starts to close in on the Audi driver. As Björk heads to the checkered flag, the top 3 remain secure. Guerrieri in 2nd, Vervisch holding off Tarquini for 3rd spot. Win number 3 of the season for Ted Björk. Ivan Muller moving up to 7th position from 13th.
It feels so good to be able to do that. The races is not so easy. I really felt it in my body that I wanted to win it. At home, my wife and little boy, he got an ear infection, really bad. So they were fighting, and I was thinking about them and just driving. So it felt very nice. So, you know, nice victory to get in the body to share with the family and the team.
Sunday morning and the 3-part qualifying to decide the grids for races 2 and 3. Having been quick in his Cupra on Friday and Saturday, somehow the pace evaporated for Pepe Oriola. 15th, he didn't make it through to Q2. Another to struggle was Jean-Carl Vernet in 13th, missing out on Q2 by less than 1/10 of a second. Ivan Muller topped the timesheets in Q1, 9th fastest in Q2, and that would give him a front row spot for the reverse race 2 grid. Jan Elesche was struggling though. He was 8th fastest, didn't make the top 5, still in the title fight, but he needs points. Mehdi Banani, 5th in race 1, his first points in Zandvoort, and he was 10th fastest in Q2 to claim the reverse grid pole for race 2. At the other end of the timesheets, though, was Esteban Guerrieri, the Munich Motorsport Honda, fastest in Q2, 1/4 of a second clear of the Hyundais. And Rob Huff also made it into the top 5 thanks to a perfectly executed Q2 lap, but he couldn't find that pace when he was first out in Q3. He'd end up 5th fastest. Next man up, Ted Björk, 4th fastest in Q2. He went over half a second faster than his pole time the previous day. Norbert Mikulits, very quick early on in the lap, but couldn't keep the pace up. He was a 10th behind Björk. Teammate Gabriele Tarquini, the 2009 world champion, ran wide on his lap, 1/4 of a second off his best from the previous session. He'd be 4th fastest. Esteban Guerrieri was the surprise of Q2, but he couldn't repeat in Q3. He went 3rd quickest, and so Ted Björk was left to steal a 2nd consecutive pole position, with Norbert Mikulits 2nd, Esteban Guerrieri in 3rd.
Esteban really put the pressure on me in Q2, but I felt like, you know, if I can connect the lap, maybe I cannot do a demon lap like he did, but I can, you know, be very competitive, and it was enough. So I'm really happy with that, you know.
It wouldn't be China without dragon dancers. For front row of race 2, Mehdi Benani is on pole position with Ivan Muller menacingly alongside, and it's the Hyundai that gets hooked up best off the start as Jan Erlaché decides not to go inside Benani because Uncle Ivan is already there. They charge to the first corner. Muller is through, Benani and Erlaché chased by a slew of Audis. Vervish, Dupont and then Huff and Guerrieri as Jean-Carl Vernet runs out of luck at the back. Norbert Michelis drifts out wide. He'll lose a hatful of places as Rob Huff tries to charge his way up the order behind the flying Denis Dupont. The Belgian youngster having his best run so far, but Huff has got problems from behind with Esteban Guerrieri, who gets a love tap. Tarquini ran into the back of Guerrieri. Guerrieri then trying to go the long way round the chicane to get by Huff. Couldn't manage. Intense battle for 6th position. Guerrieri again throwing the car down the inside of Huff. Goes by and runs out of road on the exit. Around the outside of him comes Ted Björk. He's already got by Tarquini. And Huff fighting his way alongside Guerrieri through the chicane. Ted Björk goes by the Englishman as well. And Huff has lost 2 places in 2 corners. Into the pits, Gabriele Tarquini. Contact with Guerrieri damaging the car, and Vernet is out again.
It's a shame, the car is unbelievably quick, but we can't use it because we had some issues every run. A lot of bad lucks, and again this morning with a broken damper for qualifying. And we came back on track. We were purple sector 1, purple sector 2. The car is great. We just need a little bit of luck.
Finally, it all starts to calm down. Esteban Guerrieri uses the peace and quiet to reel in Denis Dupont.
Okay, copy, Rob.
And he grabs 5th position. Leader Muller has pulled away. Benani in 2nd, Jan Erlaché in 3rd, and further back his teammate battling with Denis Dupont. And eventually sells the Belgian a dummy, and through he goes. That puts Guerrieri up to 4th. Frederick Vervish, though, attacking Jan Erlaché. He's looked around the outside a couple of times and now through between corner 1 and 2. Contact, and they stay hooked up. Erlaché drifts out very wide. He and Vervish lose lots of places. Vervish trying to hang on as Erlaché and Rob Huff come by him. Erlaché struggling for points this weekend, while teammate Esteban Guerrieri in 3rd place, looking for another podium. Denis Dupont in 4th, ahead of Ted Björk, Rob Huff and Frederick Vervish with his teammates Nat Berton. Then Norbert Michelis struggling to stay in front of Jan Erlaché. Well, here's the contact again from Vervish's point of view. And Erlaché maybe should have left a little bit more racing room. They could both have survived from behind. You can see they're both going for the corner, and as a result the gap opens up nice and wide. In the background, more trouble for Erlaché. Seen from Pepe Oriola's point of view, Chinquan Ma on the last lap completely misjudging a move, slams into Erlaché and wrecks both cars. Out front, Ivan Muller canters happily to victory. And the icing on the cake, Gabriele Tarquini has retired, so Muller is the new championship leader.
It was a tough battle with Rob, basically two continuous laps. We did very good moves. It was great to battle like this, and well, in the end, I got it in the end, and he was a bit slower in the pace. So yeah, when I could pull away, it was good to have clean air. I went to Dupont, I could overtake Dupont, and then I could sense that something in front of me was going to happen. So I just let it be, and eventually happened. Unfortunately for my teammate, for Jan, but well, he's racing.
With Benani taking another podium, his first since Marrakesh. Ivan Muller, race victory and the points leader.
I am not expecting much, only to do my job as best I can. And of course, I'm pleased of that victory, second victory for my team of the weekend. 2 qualifying, 2 pole position. I couldn't expect much more, except to have Jan with me on the podium. Unfortunately, it's not for this time, but it will be soon, I'm sure.
Well, if Jean-Carl Vernet and Gordon Shedden are having trouble, so too Gabriele Tarquini and Norbert Michelis. But the biggest loser is Yann Erlaché. The former championship leader has scored 0 points and will not start race 3 after being clattered by Qin Ma.
Actually, I was running easy P3 and we had like a big issue with the rear axle, like some spring with the spring or something like this. So I was trying to defend my position as much as I could, and everybody knows Vervish, but actually it was not that fair. We had some contacts from both sides, and I lost like 10 position, maybe something like this. But still, I was still in the points, and I don't know what's happened with the Chinese guy, and we just forget to brake, or he had an issue or whatever. But he f***ed my race, and I'm not really sure we can start again because the rear left is completely f***ed. Yeah, like this, a lot of points gone for nothing, but that's f***ing racing.
No miracles for Erlaché, no redemption, no car ready for race 3. But for the second time this weekend, Ted Bjerg will start on pole with Hyundais clustered all around him. Gabriele Tarquini in 4th, Norbert Michelis in 2nd place on the outside of the front row of the grid alongside the Swede. Again, it's the white Hyundai that makes the better start to take the lead with Michelis and Tarquini. Guerrieri, the best of the Hondas, again trying to get himself into a podium finishing position. The Hungarian hangs on to 2nd. Guerrieri is in 3rd ahead of Tarquini as Huff battles with a slew of Audis. And Ivan Muller, as ever Teflon coated, finds his way around the outside. From 9th on the grid, he gets by and challenges for 7th. Guerrieri with a run on Norbert Michelis, cuts to the inside, and there's contact. Guerrieri goes through, Michelis loses ground, but meters later, Guerrieri is clearly in trouble. Something's broken on the Honda, and the end is nigh. Contact wheel to wheel, broke the Honda's suspension. Michelis, amazingly, hanging on. With Bjerg leading, Ivan Muller is closing in on Frederik Vervish. And he dives through to the inside. With Michelis just outside the top 3, the track is thick with Audis. But Muller is fighting his way through past them all. Ahead of Nat Berton, but Frederik Vervish has got back past him. And suddenly, the 4-time world champion is losing ground. Berton also goes by. Next up, Jean-Carl Vernet in his Audi, as Pepe Oriola goes inside Mehdi Benani to move into the points. But Aurélien Panis is closing in from behind in yet another Audi. It's suddenly even more trouble for Jean-Carl Vernet. He goes down the inside of the Hyundai of Muller and comes off distinctly second-hand. Contact from behind. Guerrieri getting a little nudge. Pepe Oriola also getting a run from behind. Ivan Muller goes by Oriola, but then slows, and through goes Aurélien Panis.
Okay, copy.
Muller is in the pits, but 2 laps later, the red flags are out because there is a curb breaking up around the back of the circuit. So the cars stop on the grid. And after 15 minutes of repairs, the race sets off once more behind this safety car. Björk immediately starts to extend his lead over Tarquini, with Denis Dupont in third position, aiming to try and hang on for his first ever WTCR podium. Now Fredrik Vervisch is pressing Rob Huff for 5th place. And as Huff drifts out wide, through goes the Audi. Nats Berton in another come-to-you Audi is next up and immediately puts the Golf under pressure. Vervisch starts to head off to chase down Norbert Mikulich. Huff boxes clever. Berton all at sea, outbraking himself comprehensively, only just comes back on in front of Mehdi Benani. Final lap of the race, Vervisch attacking Norbert Mikulich for 4th position. Mikulich with that damage on the front of the car after contact early in the race, possibly just rearranging the suspension or the steering angles, struggling. And the Audi has the grip to go through. Mikulich lucky to hang on. Huff is so far back, he can't recover in time to grab 5th position from Norby. Another quiet race for Ted Björk, despite the red flag. 2 poles and 2 victories, with Gabriele Tarquini behind him in 2nd and Denis Dupont in 3rd. It's the 4th win of the season for the Swede. He scored 68 points from a maximum of 87. And he moves up to 2nd in the championship, behind teammate Muller.
Fantastic, you know, fantastic race, fantastic start. The first race was really hard and hot, I thought, to be, you know, in the middle of the pack. But the last race, just go for it. And when the red flag came out, before that I was thought that, okay, maybe something is coming. And then, you know, I just, red flag stopped, relaxed, thinking again, my family has been with me all this race, so I'm thinking about them. And maybe they got, I think they got more nervous than me when it was a red flag. So.
Delight for Denis Dupont, his first WTCR podium.
C'était une super course, on avait fait le gap pour la 3e position.
Superb race, says the Belgian, made a gap in 3rd, then the red flag came out, everybody got new tyres on, including us, but at the restart I could open a gap again, which is really good. We're really fast in the opening couple of laps, but the Hyundais are strong through the race, but our pace was just enough to finish on the podium. Well, the Audis have definitely taken a step forward this weekend, and after 10 weeks away, the championship continues in just 5 days in a brand new street circuit in the city of Wuhan. We will see you there to see how fortunes again change in the FIA WTCR.